Marvel's Secret Invasion Episode 3 picks up the pace and gives us a few new revelations in terms of, let's just call it the hierarchy of S.H.I.E.L.D. How Nick Fury got into his position of power, the help he's had, and also where this series is headed. So we are now at the halfway point of the series, and during this episode, we find out the interesting, sort of implied, but not really fully ever explained history of Nick Fury and how he's always 3 steps ahead. Talos confirms that ever since they arrived on Earth, he was the one that authorized hundreds upon hundreds of people all over the planet to be part of Nick Fury's secret network, to constantly feed him info so he could rise in the ranks and that they would have an ally. This did, of course, happen, as we see, and again, they kind of confirmed this long-standing speculation slash theory that people have had ever since really the first episode of this series, but for a while now since we've known about Secret Invasion. And in this episode, we're going to see this come into full effect as Talos does manage to convince his daughter Gaia to side with them, more or less, to try to prevent Gravik's plan. Now, Gravik's plan is, as we talked about it before, to start World War III, but also to create himself as the Super Skrull. And not just himself, he wants to pretty much give the Council and all his generals slash army those same powers. And it'll be interesting to see just how they handle this, because things take some interesting turns in this, because we see Gaia turn her back on Gravik, and she supplies Nick Fury and Talos, her dad, with the info that they're going to need to be able to, for now at least, stop World War III. But this is where things get even more interesting, because now we know that there are Skrulls, in fact, all over everything, every government, and that they are, in fact, all working with one goal in mind, at least the bad ones that have been planted there by Gravik, and this is to start World War III, and the clock is ticking. Nick Fury and Talos are literally up against the wall, and it's going to be interesting to see just how the second half of this season plays out, because there's a lot at play here, especially with the involvement that we find out that Nick Fury's wife is working for Gravik. So she is up to no good by the end of this episode, and we'll see where it heads. Overall, I thought it was a really solid entry in the series so far.